welcome to Maga Woman TV, and I am so excited to have the absolutely gorgeous Natalie Southgate, who is the creator and founder of Chakra Dance. As well as that, she is our cover girl for the February issue of Maga Woman magazine, and she's also a contributor. She's written an article. And I wanted to talk to her a little bit more about what Chakra Dance is and how we can use Chakra Dance to start to connect back to who we are. So thanks for joining me, Natalie.
Oh, thanks for having me, Angela. It's so wonderful to be here. And I just want to start by saying congratulations.
Thank you.
I can't believe it. I've been privileged enough to sort of watch this be birthed in many ways. And I've been blown away by the first edition, was just absolutely stunning. And I hear your online circle. I couldn't make the first one, but I heard it was amazing.
It was great.
You know, and you're just beaming. You're doing what you're meant to be doing. So
it's so much fun. It is so much fun. So can you just share a little bit about your story, who you are, and what is Chakra Dance? Where did Chakra Dance come from? Because a lot of people probably haven't heard of Chakra Dance. I hadn't until about 12 months ago, and it's unbelievable what Chakra Dance is, and I didn't realise it was a worldwide movement. So tell us what Chakra Dance is.
Okay, well, Chakra Dance is something that I birthed, much like your Maga Woman project, 20 years ago now. It's hard to believe. It was 1998. I was living in London. I was doing something radically different to the life I'm living now. I was living in London, running a recruitment company that specialised in the advertising industry. I worked ridiculous hours. I played probably even harder than I worked. I was a typical, it was the 90s in London, you know, you can picture the scene. And my life looked fabulous from the outside. Do you know what I mean? I had loads of money. I had a gorgeous central apartment. Everything was fabulous from looking in. But in some ways, I feel like I had a bit of a midlife crisis a little bit early. It's sort of like it was all there. And yet there was something in me that was like, is this it? Is this what we're here for? Is this what it's all about? I felt a kind of sort of an emptiness, that something was missing in my life. And then I started to get sick. You know, you can only party and work that hard for so long before your health starts to deteriorate. And that kind of set me off on a path of looking into natural therapies. And it was during that time that I found this place, and I really believe that finding this place was a pivotal moment in my life in changing the direction of my life. And it's called the College of Psychic Studies. And it's in London. Been going over 200 years, and I was like, when I heard about it, I was like, what? A place called the College of Psychic Studies is real. It exists. And I remember the day I walked through the big old doors, and I felt like, I'd come home, something happened. And that was the shift. I trained as an energy healer, focusing very much on the chakras, and that's where I learned about the chakras. And I have to say, Angela, I couldn't believe, I was probably in my mid to late 20s, and I couldn't believe that I hadn't heard about the chakras, or I didn't know about them. I didn't, you know, I was like, why have I not heard about this?
I don't think many people have heard of them. Even now, I think that it's an unknown gift to the world.
I think it is. I mean, it's very Eastern philosophy, and I think it is moving more and more into the West slowly, but we're getting there. But to me, it was like finding gold. It was like finding a map of how to live your life that makes sense. And I became absolutely obsessed with the chakras. I started studying them. I was training as a healer. I then went and studied Jungian psychology, because Jung was the first Westerner to work with the map of the chakras, and he felt that the map very much mirrored his own process. So I studied Jungian psychology, and then I was invited to run a beginner's chakra workshop at the college. So this was like a big moment. This was all on the side, by the way. I was still running recruitment.
Still running the other stuff.
And doing all this by night. And it was when I was teaching this chakra workshop, and everyone's sitting down in chairs, and I've got a whiteboard, and I'm talking about energy, and I'm moving.
I can see, I'm noticing now that you're moving.
It's like, this is about the movement of energy within us. And dance has been my other big passion throughout my life. I was chronically shy as a child. I used to hide under, the coffee table and behind the curtains. And unfortunately, my mind felt the color when I danced. It was that dramatic for me. Oh, I can feel who I am. And at the end of the dance classes, I didn't really like the kind of structured, choreographed, set step performance type. But at the end of every class, we got to just close our eyes, the music would come on, and we could do improvisation dance. And I loved this. And the day that I taught the beginner's chakra workshop, I came home that night and I put my stereo on, which I did all the time, by the way. I'd come home and crank my stereo up and you know, dance in my lounge room because it was a way of me connecting with myself. And I put the stereo on, I set my intention, and I started to notice that different music was starting to stir different energy centers. And then I started to notice that the feelings and the images in my mind's eye that were coming up were very connected to that chakra. And it was like, what is actually happening here? And then I heard, and it was like a voice that wasn't even mine, I heard chakra dance. And it was like, oh, of course, I need to dance my chakras. That's my healing process. I need to dance my chakras. And I really just thought it was for me. I wasn't thinking about this healing modality that I would take out there. It was for me. And I spent the next year or so just finding music and getting more and more and more into my own practice of chakra dance. And it wasn't until friends started saying to me, what are you doing? What's happening?
What are you on?
Yeah, what are you on? And I said, well, I'm doing this thing at home. And they said, well, can we do it? And I was like, oh. So I started using my recruitment office at night. I'd cover all the computers with coloured fabrics, and I'd burn candles, and people would come in and I would start to run classes. And then that got full, and I thought, well, should I hire a hall? And so I hired this beautiful ballroom called the Amadeus Centre in central London and filled it with the first workshop, and was like,
wow.
Okay, this is my path. So it was a leap of faith. I sold the recruitment company. I let go of all the security, all the, you know, the plan, all the normal lifeness, you know, that was a normal life to have, and said, I'm going to jump in and do this thing called chakra dance. And as I said, that was 20 years ago now. And that's been the path. And I'm still dancing. Yeah. So that's the story of how it came to be.
Because you don't do it just for you now. You teach other people to basically you facilitate other people learning chakra dance so they can then go out and teach it to others, don't you? So you've got teachers all over the world now.
That's right. I've probably trained close to about 600 people now. I think we've got currently active about 400 across 40 countries. So, you know, it's getting there.
This is a big movement. This is as big as yoga, but no one seems to know about it.
Yeah, exactly. Not for long, Angela. No. We're taking it out.
I know you are.
I think it's time. You know, I think the world is more ready for it now, and I think the world, so many more people need this sort of work now.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that even just understanding what the chakras are about and then combining it with, because particularly women like to dance. I mean, it's natural for us to move and dance and do that. So, and I think, you know, as we get Maga women in particular have probably left some of those dancing days behind because they started to raise children and everything, and they kind of then get into this stuckness. I know that I've got into a stuckness, and I used to love to dance. I was a ballet dancer. I used to dance all the time. And it's like, no, I need to dance. I need to move. I need to connect to the music and allow the music to take me somewhere else. And when I see you, I'm going to get you to do it in a minute, but when I see you explaining the chakras through dance, it's amazing, because you like go into another world. But you don't just talk about the chakras, you move the chakras, you live the chakras, and you bring them to life through your movement. And even when you're just standing there talking about the chakras and you're doing it before, you just naturally flow. And that's just, and it's beautiful. So can you share with our viewers what each of the chakras is about and how you connect to the chakras
Yeah.
in music, movement, and whatever? You know, how do you connect to the
Yeah.
chakras and what they mean?
Yeah. Okay. Well, it is. It is like an inner journey. It really is. I feel like the chakras are like these 7 different parts of us, and it's like when we dance, then we travel into these 7 different inner landscapes, and we go on this inner journey. And well, the first one, the base chakra, the music for the base chakra is very earthy. It's very primal. It's very raw. It's very percussive. It's very tribal. See, you want to dance to that, don't you?
So, duh, duh, duh.
And you know, it's in a dark room, your eyes are closed, the music is loud, it's about going within. I give you guided imagery. You might be in the jungle, in a forest. Many people start to move on all fours, connect with that animal, primal, primitive part of who we are. It really keeps us connected to the earth, to the ground. The dance is pulsing, it's pumping, and when you finish the dance, you feel so grounded and present and alive and here. And then we move up into the sacral chakra, and the sacral is a totally different energy. It's that sort of feminine goddess energy, and the music, it's very sultry, it's very sensual, it's very it's magical. It's the inner goddess within, you know. And when you surrender, and it's very much about moving your hips, it's that Middle Eastern beats. And as you surrender into the dance of the sacral chakra, it really is about finding all the feminine parts of who we are, you know. And I think sometimes we can think that's all about being soft and gentle and, you know, pretty, and, you know, there's a lot of labels on what it is to be feminine. But what tends to happen in this dance, as well as coming into contact with that part, we can also find that wild, you know, that darker, there's a lot of darkness to the feminine, which is a good thing, that Kali energy, you know, the parts of us that need to die so that we can be reborn. So the dance of the sacral, it's very emotional. Quite often tears will just start to flow as we really connect in with the emotional and that sensual part of who we are. Quite often in this dance, I'll lead people into like an inner, almost like an inner temple, where they can just start to create a place where they can feel safe to really express their sensuality and their sexuality, and to really be the expression of the feminine. So that's the sacral, very different energy. And then we move up into the solar plexus, and the solar plexus is our inner warrior. It's our inner masculine. So the music is very fiery, it's very dynamic, it's very powerful, it's very driving, it's fast. You find you want to do like martial arts type movements, and we become fire, where we shake and we shake and shake and shake, and we burn away all the things that we no longer need, all the things that aren't serving us, all the things that are holding us back. You know, we hold on to these things physically, we hold on to them in our energy field, we get to dance them out. It's the most incredible feeling. And then you can tune into that power that you have. We all have. It's almost like when we can get rid of the shell that's covering who we really are in the solar plexus, we release it all and can start to feel that inner sun, that inner warrior, that inner strength, that inner courage, that inner confidence. And it really, I think when you work with the solar plexus, it really leads you to your true purpose as well, you know. And it may not look like what you thought it looked like as well, but you find it through this warrior. That's a snapshot of the solar plexus. We come up into the heart. The heart is beautiful. It's the element of air, and the music is much lighter. It's very lyrical. It's kind of lilting flutes and wind instruments, but, you know, with sacred heartbeat drums. You just want to lift up, and it's very much about releasing the hurts that you've been holding in your heart. I think we all get wounded in the heart, you know, in different relationships throughout our lives. The more we hold on to those wounds, the more we block our heart. We block our own flow of love. So by releasing, physically releasing, energetically releasing the hurts, again, tears might start to flow as you do this dance. We start to open to the love, the bigger love in the heart. It's not just about, you know, loving our friends and our family. It's that compassionate heart. It's opening up to that generosity. It's living life in a much more generous and compassionate way. Relationships tend to open up when we start to dance the heart chakra. So where there have been blockages, it starts to open up that flow of energy again, where they can start to be restored, be healed, everything we've been holding in the heart and heart. Then we come up into the throat, and the throat is a lot of people get, I mean, if you even look at our bodies, you know, there's this like comes in at the throat. A lot of people come to the throat workshop and it's like, oh, we do a mantra dance. It's where we use sound and movement to open our throat chakra. The dance is very ethereal. It's like, I always think of it, it's where the place where angels play, and the music has this sort of humming, ethereal, playful, beautiful vibration. And as we do the mantra, it's like the mantra starts to open up the throat. It's like a humming, like a bee, and the hum begins to fill our bodies. And as we hum, we send that vibration through our bodies, through our energy fields and out to the world. And this really starts to open up our truth. This is where we open up to the famous Buddhist wise words. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Is it the right time? We start to live from a higher truth. We start to live our truth when we actually, with kindness, when we start to open up the throat. And we open up to the most extraordinary creativity from here. It's where we get to express it, whether it's dancing, painting, sculpting, cooking, the way we dress, whatever it is. When this opens, it all starts to just flow out. It's like you can't not let it release. So it's a beautiful chakra to work with. And then we come up into the third eye chakra, which is like, you know, if you take yourself back to some of the nightclubs, and I think, you know, certainly in London in the 90s, I think a lot of the DJs there were like urban shamans, you know, the way they would take people into trance. And third eye music is very much like that. You know, it's a trance dance. It's a very high frequency, and it's very repetitive and monotonous. And you start to let the rational mind, the left brain, sort of falls away, and we open up to a much higher intuition. And through the trance dance, and you start to almost find a repetitive, hypnotic movement in your body, and it's like insights and visions and guidance and, you know, other realm type experiences can start to open up. It's like our vision expands, and we open up to a much greater world than we live in our day-to-day reality. We start to see ways of dealing with our life that we wouldn't necessarily have just got to by thinking our way there. And then we move into the crown, and the crown chakra is really the dance of the soul. The music is at the highest frequency. The music goes up in frequencies. So the bass is very bassy, you know, earthy. And then it's almost like the frequencies go up. It's like a form of vibrational medicine as we come up. And the crown is the highest frequency. And it's really like a dancing prayer. The music is like a moving meditation where we invite the soul energy of ourselves to move through our bodies and to move through our energy fields. And it's really the soul's turn to dance, and it's the most beautiful experience. And again, it can open us up to huge insights, huge aha moments, huge awareness that we are more than just this physical body having the daily dramas of who's going to put the washing out. You know, it's bigger. We see our greatness when we dance the crown chakra. And with each of these, this is in the dance, but then you step out into your world from this experience each time, and the reflections come right back at you. It's like you start to dance in rhythm with the outer world and the inner world, and you start to see the changes. So it's not just about having these far out, you know, wow man experiences. It's about, although they're fun, it's about what it changes in your life, and how you as a person interact with other people and your world around you. So there we go. Does that all make sense?
I absolutely love listening to you when you talk about this, because you so embrace all of it. And it just sends chills up and down my spine when I watch, because it's just like you just come alive.
Oh.
You do, totally. And it's like, and you just live it and you embody the whole lot. So for those people who want to experience chakra dance, you've got something new coming up for them, haven't you?
I do.
Share with us what you're about to launch.
Okay, well, first of all, I would like to say, if you can get to a live class, do it, because it is amazing to have the space held for you. The facilitator set everything up in a beautiful sacred space. A lot of the training is about the holding. You can only go in that deeply if you are feeling the safety of the container. So the facilitators do an amazing job of doing that and leading you in. So if you can get to a live class, get there.
And people can find out about the live classes on your website, can't they?
That's right. There's a find a class page. And you can there's a drop down menu with your country, and then they've all got their own page. Each facilitator's got their own page with their class schedule. So you can go in there. If you can't get to a class, or if you'd like to try it at home first, or I'm also thinking it'd be a great thing to do in between live classes, I'm just launching a new program called the Chakra Dance Inner Temple. And it's a beautiful home practice. And to be honest, I actually designed it for myself to start with, so much like chakra dance. Like everyone here, I imagine, I'm really busy. You know, we're doing so many things. As Maga women, we do so many things. You know, time is normally something that we have to cherish and use wisely. And I needed for me something that I could, a chakra dance program that I could easily fit in every day, because I know the difference in my life when I dance every day. So I've created a really quick but powerful program where it's 7 15-minute dances. So it's one dance for each of the chakras, fully guided. I took the advice of you, Angela, and actually filmed myself dancing it. I kept saying, no one wants to watch me dance. And it's not about watching me dance. It's actually just to give you an idea of what the energy feels like in some ways when you dance. And you
show that so well when you dance, because I've seen you do this. I've seen you live do this, and it's like, it isn't about watching you dance, but you embody it. And because you embody it, you then allow other people to do that as well.
Yes, and to do their own movements.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a chakra to do each day, basically, and it's beautiful. The 7 days of the week, there's 7 chakras. It works so beautifully. So each morning or night or whenever you can fit it in, it's a 15-minute dance, which is on an MP3, so you can just have the audio, or there's the DVD of me dancing it. You can dance along with me. And then there's just a 5-minute guided meditation for that chakra as well, which I tend to do together. I dance and then do the meditation. And then I do one chakra each day of the week, and then come back and do it as a cycle. And it's just so easy to do because it doesn't take very long, and yet the effects, well, we all know the effects of meditation, so it's got all of those effects, plus we're working on a specific chakra, plus we're getting the physical side, the physical exercise, the endorphins, all of that happening at the same time. So I've been doing it for myself for a few months, this Inner Temple, and I'm hooked, totally hooked.
Well, I can say that because I've known you for a while, and having seen you where you were a few months ago and where you are now, since you've been doing that program, of your own program, I can see the difference in you, because you're just so much more relaxed, so much more happier. You're a bit of a stressed out bunny before.
I know, because I wasn't doing my own practice, because it was too long for me to do every day in my life, So I thought, well, gosh, if I'm having that problem, I expect loads of people are having that problem. So this quick practice, but because the music's also powerful, because it's also targeted, you're still getting the really deep benefit of it. I was worried, is it going to be long enough? But it is. It really is. So thank you for noticing that. I feel better. I feel like
you just look so much
again.
better. Yeah, you do. You just look so more relaxed. Things that don't worry you like they were worrying before. You just really, you are living what you're teaching.
Exactly.
And you're embodying it. And that's what I think that Women, we spend a lot of time giving to other people, but there comes a time when many of us go, it's time for me. I've actually just come from a meeting this morning full of a whole pile of other women, and the number of people who said, this year is for me. I've got to start looking after me. I've given time to my children. I've given time to my business, given time to everybody. Now it's time for me. And that's what I see chakra dance is. Chakras dance is something, it's just for you. And as you heal each of those chakras, you'll actually open up to what is possible for you, because a lot of women can't see what's possible either. And that's what I love about the chakras. And with the way I work with chakras, I also work with it on a more physical level, looking at, well, what are your chronic health conditions? Because we can also tie each one, chronic health conditions in with each chakra, and the foods that you eat and all of that, and bringing all of that together. And because it's just a complete system, and it's so easy because we basically carry it around with us every single day. We don't have to do anything. It's there. We just need to tap into it, and we tap into it with movement. We tap into it with thought. We tap into it with food and, essential oils. There's so many ways that we can just tap into it. Even the colors that we're wearing. It's just so easy to tap into those chakras and to use them as part of your healing and really just your life.
Yeah. Yeah. I think also, Angela, the fact that the chakras encompass the whole of human experience. So when you are working on all 7 chakras, you really are connecting in with the whole of you.
Everything, and that's right.
Everything. There's nothing being missed out. And the more you can bring this into balance, it just means the more you are in the biggest sense of that. So that's right. Why discovering it as a map for me was like, wow, this is gold.
Yeah, when I discovered the chakras as well, it's like, and because as I said, I discovered it on a physical level, and I just went, it all just makes sense now. Yeah. When I'm struggling in certain parts of my life, I can see that that's where I'm getting pain, I'm getting symptoms, whatever. As soon as I work on that chakra and it clears it, it all just goes. Yeah. And it's amazing. Yeah. It is. It's just, it's just nature gives us so much within our bodies that we can use. We don't really need to be looking outside for,
No.
It's all inside us.
Couldn't agree more.
I want to thank you for being on Maga Woman TV, for being our February cover girl, and for bringing chakra dance to the world.
You're very welcome.
this is a movement, and particularly now that you've got the at-home program, I think that so many more women can really take this and bring this into their lives and change their lives. So we'll put all the links and everything to the program in the magazine, underneath this video, everywhere, so that if you want to know more about chakra dance, you can go and pop over to Nat's website, grab her online program, or go and do a live. And if you ever see Natalie Southgate coming to your town to do chakra dance, don't miss out on watching Natalie do it. It's an experience for everyone.
Thank you, Angela.
Okay, that's it for now. Bye. Infinite love and gratitude to everyone.
Infinite love and gratitude to you.
Bye.